The ability to mold things here.
Catholic, Christian, they still practice hoodoo.
Adding your energy to all of that juju and all that goodness.
Feels so powerful and good, like to just throw it all together. So,
How low are you willing to go for the money, for the things that you're trying to manifest?
I have to say, okay, no, don't do that. You not have to keep living to where you're taking 2 steps forward, 3 back.
Somebody who has a scarcity mindset, who's not willing to give anything because they're feeling tight, they're feeling constricted, they don't want to give anything because they don't feel like anything else is going to come back in.
You have this level of fear, you have this level of doubt, and you want to manifest money?
Carry that abundance mindset, it takes you out of scarcity.
Help thousands of people do it. You can change it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Conjure Confessions podcast, where we tell the unapologetic spiritual truth. I'm Chaela Ahari.
I'm Eria Ahari.
And I am Lala Inuti Ahari. Welcome back to the Conjure Confessions, you guys. We got some more interesting topics for you today. Kayla's going to take it from here.
So I think we should get back to the roots, back to hoodoo.
Okay, back to the roots.
And, you know, maybe some people don't even know what hoodoo is, or rather how it works. So I think that we should, let people know a little bit more about it.
A little bit more? Okay, we did get some feedback from that.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, hoodoo is more of a spiritual practice, right? I feel like every religion kind of has a folk magic element to
Literally.
it. Yeah, right? And hoodoo is just that. So it's more of a practice, a spiritual practice versus a religion. It allows you to also be spiritually free. So you're just not relying on whatever faith you have or God you serve. So you're not just relying on religion for you to like kind of control your own reality. You know, there are some things in this world, most things actually in this world, that you can control with hoodoo, you know, and other spiritual interventions. So it's just a practice to me that allows me to be able to kind of level the playing field in any situation that I feel can be altered or should be altered. For example, like wealth. You know, I don't feel like wealth should belong to any sector of people. I feel like everybody has the right to it and to obtain it. And as long as you're willing to work hard, as long as you're willing to be, have great integrity and do it the right way and grow and learn, I think that everybody should be able to obtain it. And so with all that being said, when it comes to wealth work, we will use things to clear our path, to open the roads, open the opportunities for ourselves. Nothing wrong with that, right? There's also prosperity work, right?
Yeah.
That is involved in hoodoo, protection work, all these things that you have a right to, regardless of your religion. That's my take on it.
For me, I've always had a pretty interesting take on hoodoo in the spiritual aspect about it and using natural forces and intention. I always saw it as more like I would say like a spiritual coven, a nature coven. When you think about these herbs and these roots and even flowers, and you believe that they have spirits and they're aiding you in your intentions, it's almost like you have people working with you. Like you literally kind of have your little coven where you have your intention in mind. Okay, I'm wanting to manifest love, for instance. And then you use rose, which represents love. And people know that to be something that represents love and admiration and things like that. And the energy of it, it's literally combining with your intention as well to create and manifest whatever it is that you're desiring. It's like you have another person with you, but instead it's the spirit of that herb or that root with you.
Or that element.
Or that element, yeah. So I think together, I think it creates a beautiful community. Even if it's just you doing your root work and you have your different herbs together, you are all working together towards one goal. And I think that that's really, I think that's very...
You're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. And I think that's what really helps connect you with nature too, because it does. It reminds you that you're not alone, that no matter what, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, even if you don't have somebody here to work with you to reach your goals in life, you know that nature is still providing for you. Nature is still supporting you. So you're always, you know, getting support towards your goals no matter what. And I think that's really empowering and really beautiful, actually.
Outside of religion.
Yeah.
This is all outside of religion.
Yeah. I mean, some people are religious and they still incorporate hoodoo because hoodoo's not meant to interfere with religion or anything. Like a lot of people who are religious, Catholic, Christian, they still practice hoodoo. There's not a God that you're worshiping. You're becoming one with nature. And that's not something that interferes with God. If anything, that can actually help your relationship because nature is what God created and you're becoming one with it.
And it's natural.
It's
nature, and it is natural for you to be able to do. It is almost a birthright for being born in this world, in this dimension, in this realm, with the nature, with the earth, the air, the fire, the water, and yourself being the fifth element of spirit.
Yeah.
Or ether or energy. You know, that energy. So your energy combined with earth, combined with air, combined with water and fire, you have the ability to move things here, to change things here, to change your outcome. You do not have to keep living and being dragged by life. You do not have to keep living to where you're taking 2 steps forward, 3 back. You know, always when something good happens, it never, you know, like comes to fruition for you, or you're just one of those people who have no choice sometimes to think negative because that's kind of like the card you were dealt. You can change that deck. I'm telling you, I've helped thousands of people do it. You can change it. And so for the spiritual practice of it all, I just feel like that helps people do that.
Right.
Without having to worry about the judgment of religion.
Right.
So I kind of agree with what you were saying about like when doing hoodoo and not being alone, because I feel like hoodoo is very elemental. It's in water, it's in the air, it's in fire,
Definitely in the earth.
For sure.
In everything you do, like you can perform hoodoo in all types of ways. So I really don't know where I was going with that, but
okay. So let's dive into it then. In earth, the earth element, what would be considered something you can use in hoodoo in the earth element?
In the earth element,
everything's in this book right here, you guys. The Conjure Cookbook.
Fire's
There's a lot of hoodoo
one.
and a lot of elemental information in it.
Fire's a big one for hoodoo. It's actually my favorite part of it, honestly.
Okay, so fire.
Okay, starting with fire.
So what are some ways that you can use fire? Just for the sake of, someone who's listening who may want to know.
In case like you're just, there's literally lighting something on fire. There's that. There's
like a candle too.
Yeah, a candle. It's literally just, when it comes to fire, it's literally lighting things on fire, whether it be a candle, whether it be a petition that you're burning in a pot. It could be your hair. It could be somebody else's hair. It could be clothing.
Bonfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
intense.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Fire element is very intense and works very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you need something to work very quickly, use fire.
I feel like also, too, adding...
Not saying to light anything on fire.
Don't go lighting
leaving fire up. Safety and making sure you do everything safe and you have fire safe plates and but the element of fire is more intense.
I feel like when it comes to fire, the element of fire and using that in hoodoo, I feel like one quick way to get a result is like DNA, hair, bodily fluids, whatever it may be. Those are the quickest ways to get results if you're trying to do something to find somebody or help somebody, or like say you're doing personal work for somebody. I feel like getting their hair or getting a personal
something personal belonging.
Yeah, and using that is a quicker result rather than just chanting over a candle for them with nothing but just the candle and the herbs. But that can be just as powerful depending on the intent.
Still be powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely using personal items. And then there's a reason why that's important as well, is because the things that are, that we touch, that we keep on us and wear, those things are connected to us. That represents our energetic signature. So in a way, kind of like similar to how people utilize dolls, is just that, and they'll put your pieces of fabric and hair on these dolls, is because that represents your energy signature. So in a way, it's a symbolic representation, or rather a symbolic copy of your own energy. And that's why you can do certain things to it. That's why when it comes to root work, you can do root work for somebody using their personal items, and it actually works for them because that's literally connected to them. It is almost like as if they are in the same room as you.
Like their energetic signature.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So that's fire, that's personal items. What about water? What are some ways that you can use hoodoo with water?
River water, rain water.
You literally have hurricane water.
Hurricane Irma.
Yeah, I have hurricane water. You can, take spiritual baths. Right? Rose baths. And you can even make those baths sexual in nature too as well.
Even just oil, just pouring like different oils in
the water, right? Yes. Churches use water for baptism as a way to cleanse. So you can also use it to cleanse.
Water is very cleansing.
Yeah, water is also very powerful. It is that element for emotion. So anytime that you're trying to do any emotional work or clearing or anything that has anything to do with emotion, water would be great for that. So what about, we did fire, water. So what about earth?
Earth
is one of the biggest, right? Because
roots, literally,
roots, herbs.
The biggest part of hoodoo.
Burying things. Yes. Anytime you want something to have more longevity, you want to bury it because the earth element is stable. It gives longevity. It is long lasting.
Yeah.
So burying it, if you want something to happen super quick, you use fire. And if you want it to last, bury it. Because that's what the earth element also represents.
And it absorbs very slowly too. So I think it just represents that steady earth energy.
And those are elemental things, but there are other ways to also use hoodoo, from pig's tongue to beef heart for love. Like there's whatever something represents.
Yes, the symbolism.
The symbolism, the energy to it is what you can tap into to use in your work. So for example, if it's not an element, say you want to control somebody's direction or where they're walking or where they're going, or where you want somebody to continue to come home because they keep staying out or whatever it is, then their shoe would be something that you can use. Their feet, their shoes, where they're walking, where they're going, the energy of the shoe is something that you would be, interested in using. So it's not just elements, it's things like rope, for example, gets tied around things to bind, to keep, to tie, right? So using the energy of the rope and what the rope is for, you can tap into that energy and use it in your work for the sake of whatever it is you're trying to do. You can even use it to cut ties. So there's a lot of ways you can use a lot of different things. Hoodoo is endless. It is not just about the elements. It can be way bigger than that. But again, you just have to be careful that you know what you're doing too, because a lot of that stuff is can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to painful work and you're using something, you want to make sure that you're not touching certain things with your own hands.
Right.
You have a lot of people doing baneful work, and they're like, these Facebook groups really be killing me sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are like this, but there's a lot of beginners in Facebook groups that are starting Facebook groups that are like giving outrageous information. And I'm not in any, but my clients will send me stuff that I have to say, okay, no, don't do that. Where they're doing baneful work and they put it in a jar. They're handling all the stuff with their hands and putting in and touching the herbs that they're putting in there with their bare hands. And they're putting somebody in a jar, not literally, but like maybe somebody's picture or energy or hair or something in a jar with a whole bunch of baneful energy and things that represent evil or ruin. And they're touching all this stuff with their hands. And then they light the jar, but your energy's in there too.
You wear no gloves, no protection.
You ain't wearing no gloves, no protection. And then I hear this thing where they're like, where I had to tell somebody no, because they were like, anytime you want to give them bad luck, you just shake the jar. So I'm like, where's the jar? The jar is like in your presence. It's still like you lit this jar with everything in it and all that. And it's like next to your ancestor altar on your dresser or something, or where's it at? Is it you carry it in your pocket, your purse with your money? Like what, that energy that you just created, you're keeping in your house.
Right.
And you're touching it and shaking it and chanting over it. What in the world? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's a lot of wrong information out there when it comes to this spiritual practice of hoodoo. So, yeah, y'all be careful.
Is that the same saying when people be like, you don't use the restroom where you eat? Like, I feel like that can kind of still apply to painful work. Like, why would you bring that to your home where it's safe, where it's supposed to be like your safe haven?
It's you don't shit where you sleep. Is that?
I'm not gonna say that, but
okay,
yes,
I understand.
Yes.
It is kind of in a sense because you don't bring that energy home.
Mm-hmm.
Your home is supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to feel peaceful, and the energy is supposed to be there, right? Because you want to cleanse it of energy, bad energy. You may be using a floor wash. You may be using Florida water, whatever it is, to cleanse the energy in your home. You may be lighting candles. You may be lighting the incense, and you're cleansing your energy and you're doing the work. Why would you bring that energy in your home and let it sit there?
Right.
Yeah, no. I remember one time I was lazy and I did some work for a client. This was so many years ago, by the way. So many years ago, because I don't do that anymore. But I left it there. I didn't clean it up. It wasn't in my house. It was on the property, but it wasn't in my house. It was on the property in the back, and I didn't clean it up. And when I went back, like maybe it might have been a week later, I noticed there were all kind of like cobwebs and dead bugs and all this nastiness kind of around it, the edge of the where I had it at. And that quickly, that energy sat there, and that's what it looked like that quick. And I realized, dang, I didn't clean this up. Got it up and everything, but I saw how quickly that energy started to manifest around it. The stuff around it, just where it was sitting.
Yeah.
It was disgusting to almost go back and look at, because I was like, ew, it's nasty. Like, it's like all this, like that's, I'm a like very, very clean person. So it's like, it was very disturbing for me to see that had already started to develop. You don't want that in your home.
No.
Don't be making people, putting them in jars and shaking a jar. Get your information. It's very important to get your information from people who are knowledgeable enough to for you to see the results in their life. That's important.
That reminds me of when we, started out doing hoodoo and we were bearing a bunch of jars on our property, not baneful work or anything, but prosperity jars.
Yes.
And we started growing, like vines started growing around our house.
Growing
like
around the
almost like
house.
covering our house.
I remember that. And
That
it
was
was coming
crazy.
towards the front door and everything.
Yes,
And I
it's
just let
growing
it cross the
fast.
front door, let it cross it and keep going. It was growing so fast.
Yes, it was really magical.
Yeah, it was. They call it Fae, I believe. Yeah. And it was very positive. It was very beautiful.
So I just feel like so much goes into hoodoo. Like it's working with the herbs and roots, having your intention, but also the symbolism behind what you're doing as well, and also just using symbols, which I think kind of plays a role in the symbolism. Like sigils, for instance.
Yeah.
You have a symbol that represents something to you, and even if you did make it yourself, it still goes into your subconscious mind, and it's still kind of programming you to manifest whatever it is. I mean, sigils are around us all the time anyway, but whenever you make your own, I feel like that can also help you manifest whatever it is that you're trying to get when you make your own sigils.
Because how do you train the subconscious mind?
By using symbols, repetition.
And unfortunately, trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it is important. Symbolism is important. One of the things that you can do, I will tell you this, when it comes to hoodoo and your brand for people who are business owners, right?
Yeah.
You can take your logo and you can place energy and success energy and all that on your logo for your business. That's a great way to do it, so that when people see your logo, they think success. When people see your logo, they, may want to buy from you, or whatever it is. You can put magnetism energy on your logo as well.
Yeah.
One of the biggest sigils ever in this country, anyway, is the $sign.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest and most powerful symbols. You can take that and you can have a candle. And if you're trying to manifest money and you've made your own sigil, that's great. Or if you haven't made your own symbolism or sigil, that's great too. I'm actually have a class on the Conjure Academy on how to make your, how to make a sigil. I think it's the Conjure Academy chapter 2. So I was saying that one of the biggest sigils is the $sign. And some of you who are not familiar with hoodoo, you can take any candle, any pillar candle, taper candle. You can even take a candle that is in a container like this one here, and you can write the $sign and carve the $sign in it, or carve it on a candle, and that is a sigil all by itself, and powerful, very powerful all by itself. So other sigils that you may see could be logos, symbolism that's in logos, right?
Yeah.
That's also helping form, certain energy or, thoughts in your subconscious mind. What else?
Repetition too. So it's not just using the sigil once. Like how when you made your I am money sigil, you wrote it on your mirrors, you wrote it on the door, like you had it everywhere. So anywhere you looked, you saw it. So even if you weren't paying attention to it, your subconscious mind
Picks it up. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't just that. It was like I used to have affirmations on the walls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
Maya Angelou. Yeah.
like when you go into the kitchen, above the little part of the entryway, I will put "never give up."
There's always something positive.
Yeah, it was something that even if you weren't looking at it every single time you passed through and went to the kitchen, your subconscious mind was seeing it. And I believed in that very early, and I had those words and stuff like that all over my house, so that it would be feeding me even when I wasn't even aware of it, And you would be very surprised at what that does. So That's another way of manifesting. It's not really hoodoo, but you can incorporate it into hoodoo.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the affirmations, because I know in hoodoo people use Psalms verses as well, which is, interesting how the Christian element really influences hoodoo as well. But how affirmations can also, in a way, get in your subconscious mind. So can using Psalms too. And some people even use that as spells or as their affirmations, whatever it is. And that can also help too.
Yeah, very much. For some of you guys who are not familiar with the Greater Keys of Solomon, they're seals with names of angels and gods on them. And they are activated with Bible verses. For some people, it may look a little scary. If you see this candle right here, this is a seal it has a planetary energy of Venus. So it's for love and admiration. And it has this energy to where it brings that to you, basically. And a lot of people look at stuff like that and they think, ooh, that's demonic. Immediately think it's demonic. But it's not demonic. It's Hebrew.
Yeah.
It's just Hebrew. It's Hebrew writing. Nothing to do with the devil. And I have seen videos of people tear down my work and look at my sigils, my supreme seals, and they're like, oh, that's demonic. It's only because you don't understand it that is literally just another language. It is Hebrew. And it's the names of gods and angels. And with that, again, there are Bible verses in that as well. So you see how all of this can be incorporated into one thing, one spiritual practice, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just one religion, it's all a spiritual practice, and you're layering different levels of energy. So you have the seal, you have that you're using with the names of gods and angels that you are technically would be conjuring and calling on for the sake of whatever this energy is bringing, right? Mm-hmm. Then you would have your water. Then you would have your herbs that you can actually put inside that candle and burn. You have the element of earth. You're lighting it. You have the element of fire, right? Yeah. You're combining all of these elements, and then you're speaking psalms over it, which is the element of air. So you're using all of these elements together to create one goal, and all of those elements are making all of that happen for you, and you have all that energy doing that for you. So that is also hoodoo too.
Not to mention, these seals are made a specific way, and they have a certain meaning behind the shape or the design too. So in a way, that's also a sigil within itself. It's something that means, or it has a deeper meaning, whether you know it or not. Even that is still being programmed in your subconscious. Agreed.
Sigils can also be more than just, a pentacle or like a seal. Like Mom used to write out things like I am money or I am love. And you can create literally your own seal or sigil out of those words.
You can.
Yeah. And now it's been
take your own affirmation and create a symbol from it.
Literally anything. I am healthy. My child is healthy. Whatever. You can make a seal literally out of anything.
But what you don't want to put on a seal is what?
Oh, what's a good example?
Just a rule for affirmations.
I am not hurt. Things like that. Like, because then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I am not sick.
The main word is hurt. The main word is sick. The main word is sad. Right. Or like, you want to always put positive things like I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy.
I'm cured.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm happy. Right. So you never want to put what you don't want, even though you're saying I am not the same thing. All your subconscious hears is I am, and then
sad or
sick, sad, whatever it is. And so you want to keep it that way. Keep it clean and what it is you're trying to manifest.
So aside from hoodoo, I feel like when it comes to manifesting in general, while that, includes the symbols and your intention and all of that, I think working with spirits and especially your ancestors too plays a big role in your manifesting, because they also help you get whatever it is you desire, especially if you're petitioning to them. And sometimes it can actually be a little bit easier than doing root work, because that can sometimes be unpredictable. And when you're working with an ancestor or you're conjuring a spirit, you can just petition them and you can ask them and, really just speak to them.
Yeah,
and
you're being specific and intentional. Exactly.
And they can usually get you whatever it is that you were asking for, if they approve of it.
That's the difference. I mean, I don't know if it's because to me in my brain, and I don't know why I just can't divide it. So excuse me if some of you guys feel differently, but the way that I feel and how I work my practice and what I've taught and how I run my business and the products that I put out is I separate. Now I am conjured hoodoo. That is me. I conjure and I love hoodoo, and I combined conjure and hoodoo, thus conjured hoodoo. So you will see both in my practice. You will see both on my website. But I divide it. So when we're talking about ancestors in my brain, it's registering as conjure.
Right.
Versus hoodoo.
Yeah.
Even though I know working with the elements, there are spirits attached to the elements. There are spirits attached to every herb. There are spirits attached to water and fire, right? But I also have those same energies that I can conjure those spirits from. I know this is going over a lot of people's heads, but what I'm just basically saying is for spiritual intervention, you're using conjure because you're calling on spirits directly for their intervention, which includes, to me, ancestors.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, with the herbs and elements and anything else you want to use, I feel like that's more of a hoodoo. That's the spiritual practice of hoodoo. Mm-hmm. But once you get into conjure, that is straight up spiritual intervention. Mm-hmm. So some people may think conjure's all of it, but by definition, conjuring is calling upon a spirit for spiritual intervention. That is a true definition. It isn't, dressing a candle and chanting over it. Right. So I know a lot of people get conjure and hoodoo confused with and combine them, but in my practice, they're different. I combine them to layer work, obviously, but I feel like they're different. So yes, it is, calling on your ancestors to me is just a form of conjure. And yes, you can be more specific, like you said, in what you're asking for, and the result will be more specific.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to conjure too, I think it goes into a whole nother category. It doesn't have to just belong to hoodoo, because conjure can encompass many different belief systems and is a part of different belief systems too. When you think of other religions and even Christianity, when they call on Jesus or God,
right,
or in Islam, Allah and, other religions, they all have gods that they are calling upon. So this is it can't just be only a hoodoo thing. Conjure is across many different sectors, and many different people are essentially calling on spirits or basically conjuring. And not that it's a witchcraft thing anyway, it is what it is when it comes to any type of religious or spiritual practice. That is what you're doing, and it's just plain and simple.
So you guys want to talk about money. We can talk about money and how to manifest money. I get a lot of people and DMs and emails about the best course of manifesting money and how did you do it and what did you do and what are some of the ways that, you can incorporate some of this in your life? Because at the end of the day, people want love, people want to manifest their best self. People want to heal, and do the shadow work and all those great things that come with spirituality. But a lot of people are here for the money.
They want to manifest money,
right? You want to manifest money, so okay, we got you. Eria, what would you say?
if we're talking about trying to obtain money, if you want to go about it the hoodoo route, it goes back to the elemental part of hoodoo that I was talking about, which is in this sense the earth aspect of it, like bank dirt.
Bank dirt is actually big. People don't realize that. They're like, bank dirt. Like, so what do I go get some? Yeah, go get some dirt from the bank. Go to your local bank and get the dirt. Get the dirt. You know, act like you dropped something, right. And then reach down and pick it up and grab some dirt. I don't know however else you get to it, but
I mean, there's crazy people that did crazier things. Just get the dirt.
No, they really have.
Like seriously. There's shredded money. I know some people use real money. That's illegal, but you know, teach his own.
As long as you don't destroy it. Because you can still use it.
Yeah, as long as you're not burning it or cutting it up, you know. I know you can buy it already.
Yeah, because we've had like wax pour on it from, you know, certain rituals, and then we'll just peel it off. It's still, you know, it's not defaced or destroyed or anything, but it's it still can be used. It doesn't have to be cut up.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be, no, because you've put actual like bills, like.
But that's an earth element too, because it's paper. Yeah,
that's another element. Hair is not really an element of it's not a it's not an earth element.
You need hair for money work? Somebody out there gonna be like, dang, I gotta
your own hair.
I gotta cut my hair.
I've done money work for myself, and I didn't cut it in the end. And
I placed it in a jar.
Oh, I like to do it with like all the things. Well, not. I've never done anything
like on a money candle.
But yeah, I'll take it on a candle. I'll wrap it around the candle, or if it's in a cauldron or some form of a pot that's burning, I'll like cut the back of my hair, and I'll sprinkle it in there like some seasoning.
Like cutting your hair.
I love it, but it's something about like doing it for hoodoo, for money, for love, whatever it is. It's something about
adding your energy to all of that juju and all that goodness.
It feels so powerful and good, like to just throw it all together. So I mean, like I said, in the aspects of hoodoo, if that's the route you want to go, that is one way to obtain it. Even just using a candle and throwing your intentions or your throwing your words into the candle and chanting and manifesting
Speaking
that way.
Over it.
Yeah, all it takes is just a candle, even if some herbs, or even if you don't have herbs, some oil, like just speak what you want, speak your intention.
People actually have a lot of the stuff that you can use on the candle in their house already.
Yeah, they don't even know it.
Nutmeg, cinnamon,
juniper berries,
and people cook with it.
I literally was at a dinner and I text Mom. I said, Mom, I think she has juniper berries on the thing, and like they're eating them, and I'm like, I cook with these. Like, why would I eat these?
Yeah,
like,
well, cook meaning, you know.
Yeah, make candles. Yeah, but she actually was cooking food with it and eating it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not eating these.
Juniper berries can actually be used for sexual attraction and sexual energy that you can put in your hoodoo as well.
It's just crazy because people always think that, like, well, I won't say people always think, but I feel like some people may think that like certain herbs are only used for one thing, like how people use roses for love, just because that is the
energy behind it.
Yeah, it's the energy behind a rose, a flower. You give it to somebody you love.
Right.
But there's so many, like all these herbs that you have, it doesn't have to be for one specific thing. There's always different uses for them. Like even lavender, people would think that would like be for like sleep or something, but it can make you calm. It can make you sweet.
Mad.
Yeah, it can make you nice. It just depends. So like you said, people carry around a lot of herbs that they don't even know are useful to them.
That's why hoodoo is so versatile too, because it's not just about root work. Like you can literally use it in your day, in your life, because these herbs and these flowers and these roots, they don't just have the symbolic meaning that helps you. It's literally the spirit is actually helping you. If you use rose in a love spell, you can actually use rose in your bath. Rose can be used for self-love. Rose can be used in a tea. So it's like it's used for many different ways that almost like anything you can prepare with roots, like even cooking can ultimately be basically hoodoo as well.
Right.
So like it has its own meaning, and it's not just symbolic. Like these plants and these herbs are actually helping you. Chamomile, while that can be used for a calming spell, if you want to incorporate for root work, but it's literally used in teas to calm your body. So it's literally affecting you in other ways that aren't just spiritual. It's actually affecting you. They really work.
That's a part of alchemy.
Yeah.
With hoodoo, it is a form of alchemy, because you do have your herbs, you have your money, you have whatever it is, your oils, and you're bringing all this energy together. You may even have multiple herbs. Mm-hmm. I will use multiple herbs. Yeah. You will have something there to make it, to force it, right? You have something there to make it speed up. You have something there to manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest, whether it be for money, like if we're talking about money. You have something there to for money. So you have the energy, the real energy of money. You want to manifest money, use money. People are like, I ain't about to put my money under there. Well, it's a sacrifice. And a lot of times when you use it in hoodoo, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be, okay, ruin the money. You can take that money that you just use in that hoodoo and you can give it away. That becomes a sacrifice. So I'm a big believer when it comes to sacrificing the things that some things that you need in order to gain your spiritual growth or whatever it is you're trying to do, as long as it's not unethical, obviously. But I have sacrificed jewelry. If some of you guys, we have the Conjure family show. If you have already watched it, you will see where I sacrificed some really big piece of jewelry, and it worked out really well for me. So based on what that particular petition was that I used before I threw it in the water. So sometimes you just really do have to make that sacrifice. People do it all the time when they fast. That's a sacrifice, right? Mm-hmm. So think about that too when you're trying to manifest. What are you willing to sacrifice? And we're not talking about the Illuminati and sacrificing loved ones and people passing away. We're not doing that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, certain energies. Like if you're, for example, if you're interested in the Solomonic work, the Greater Keys of Solomon, I have an altar for that, which is a sun altar. It's an elemental, it's a planetary energy that has many different uses. It has different seals for it, but they all represent the energy of sun energy, like literally the sun energy. And those particular energies are usually gods or high-ranking angels. And they love the sacrifice of gold, because that is the energy of the sun, is gold. So yes, people have sacrificed gold. I have sacrificed gold. And so, yeah, just think about that too. Like, it's not always about, again, what you can get. I need this money. I need this money. I need this money. Get the money, but also make the sacrifice, do the work, because a lot of times that's going to determine, one, what you're going to get, how fast you're going to get it, and how abundant it can be. So you can hurry up and rush to do money work, but you didn't cleanse first. You got blockages, negative entities attached to you. You don't have no doors open. So guess what? That's going to be slow, right? Mm-hmm. Or it may not happen at all. Or it may be so slow that you don't think it worked at all, right? So cleanse your energy, remove negative attachments that are creating more blockages for you, and then do something to open doors for yourself, to bring in opportunities. And then you bring those opportunities in, so those opportunities are ways and channels for more money to flow. But you need those channels for that money to, flow.
But what if they don't know? And then they because some people may not know they have a blockage, and then they instantly get upset because they're not getting the result that they expected or wanted, and then now it's, this doesn't work, I should never did this, or it starts to become like a blame game because you didn't get the result you wanted because you don't understand why it's not happening.
Again, I would go back to, well, what do you do when you pray? Do you say or get frustrated because it's not working? Oh, because there's a lot of people, I don't care what you say. You could be Christian, whatever religion you are. You would pray for something and it did not happen. You would pray for something multiple times and it did not happen the way that you wanted it to be, right? Mm-hmm. So then when that happens, what do you say? Do you say, oh, well, it ain't going to work? Or do you say, God got another plan for me? It's God's will. You know, you give grace there. Mm-hmm. Right?
That goal just wasn't the right timing.
You give grace there. When that happens and you're praying and you don't get your results, you give God grace. You give yourself grace. You give the situation grace. Mm-hmm. So why aren't you giving yourself grace when you're manifesting and it's you in the driver's seat? You got to learn what is better for you and how you're able to do it the way that works for you. And then in the situation where it goes another direction, give yourself grace. Pick it back up. Learn why that didn't happen. Sometimes we don't even know why it happened until after. And we looking back at it like, dang, now I see, why that shouldn't have probably happened then.
Clarity does come later too. So that's why patience is important too. Mm-hmm. Not to just, take it all out on what didn't happen. You don't realize that. And that's why it's also important to, be patient for results too. Because not only will you find out your results, but if you don't get results, you'll usually find out why. And so that's why it's important to be patient too. I just wanted to go back real quick on when you were talking about sacrifice, because it reminded me, like, when it comes to sacrifice and when it comes to fasting, mm-hmm. you're basically proving that thing that you are willing to take a break from or willing to let go of, you're basically showing that you don't have, or that it doesn't have control over you, basically. Mm. And so when it comes to money, and when people
why do you say that though?
Well, because when, let's say you're fasting from alcohol, mm-hmm. you're usually fasting because you may not have you may not be able to have the discipline to not drink as much or at all, for that matter. Mm-hmm. So when you have to cut yourself off from it, it's because you want to gain back your control, your power over it. Mm-hmm. You should be able to do things in moderation. And if you find that certain things can't be done in moderation, then in a sense, it is gaining control over you.
Yeah, but some people have to be real with themselves and understand that they don't have control over certain things as much as they think. Because sometimes people can be delusional about it. Like, I don't do it every day, but you do. Mm-hmm. You just do it at different times of the day.
Yeah.
So maybe it just doesn't feel that way, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be honest with yourself. But that's I digress, because that's not even the point. But why do you feel like, so you're saying that's why the sacrifice is so important?
Yes, I'm saying the sacrifice is important because, that is one thing too, that it does prove that it doesn't have power over you. And I wanted to go into that, not just in regards to addictions and stuff, but also to mindsets. When we're talking about how we were just talking about, you can use money in your work. Well, we're talking too about people who need money. So in their minds, they're probably thinking, why would I use money in my work when I need it? Exactly. And so that's where the mindset part comes into play, where it's like, yes, you have to be willing to, quote unquote, sacrifice the money, be willing to give money, even if you feel like you don't have it, so that you can prove to yourself that it doesn't have power over you.
Be willing to sacrifice what you're willing to gain.
That's kind of
exactly. You have to be able to give to get too.
Yeah.
And so that also just shows that because this doesn't have power over you, that puts you at a higher base level than somebody who has a scarcity mindset, who's not willing to give anything because they're feeling tight, they're feeling constricted, they don't want to give anything because they don't feel like anything else is going to come back in. But when you have that abundance mindset and you're willing to give and know and really know that it is going to come back to you, especially when you're doing work for it, you're obviously manifesting it anyway. So then you know that if I'm giving money, then I know I'm going to get money. Yeah. So you carry that abundance mindset with you, and that puts you at a higher baseline so that you know that, this doesn't have power over me. We have altars for, certain spirits that we leave money out for.
Yeah.
We don't touch that money. But no matter what we're going through, we never touch that money.
Never
and if we
do,
we're giving it away to somebody.
Yeah.
We never touch it for ourselves. And that's what I mean by the whole baseline is the mindset about abundance, is that no matter what I'm going through, I am never going to touch that money on my altar. That puts me at a higher level of mentality than if I were like, oh, but I really, really need it. But what if I just take $1 or something?
The consequence of you
and
touching
there are
money?
consequences to it. And it just kind of shows too, like, how low are you willing to go for the money, for the things that you're trying to manifest? That scarcity survival mindset. When you carry that abundance mindset, it takes you out of scarcity. Even if you might feel like you're experiencing scarcity,
that's true.
You don't carry the mindset, and that's what's going to take you out. Is you take your mindset out of that environment. You might be physically in a scarce environment. You might physically be in a very limiting environment, but you take your mindset out of it, and that can also pull you out of it too. So no matter what you're going through, you don't touch that money. No matter what you're going through, you're willing to still give money. It will come to you because you carry that abundance mindset that if I give, I know I'm going to still receive because nothing is taking from me and money is constantly flowing. And that's what it's supposed to do. Money is always supposed to flow. It is not supposed to be stuck or restricted or blocked or anything. It is meant to flow.
It's meant to flow, right? And you can stop the flow by holding on to it. Yeah. Like, I don't get paid for 2 weeks and I got to make sure I got, I'm not holding, I can't do this, or you got to pay me my money back. You got my money. I can't borrow you nothing. You're stingy. You even have this level of greed. You have this level of scarcity where you have this level of fear. You have this level of doubt, and you want to manifest money that way. Nothing is flowing. Nothing is flowing. You're making and you're taking your opportunity for money flow to happen because you won't let it go.
Creating your own blockage.
You're creating your own blockage. You are in the way.
No risk, no reward. Even when it comes to money and the money work and trusting that, like, take the risk and doing the work.
Take the risk.
And you get the reward.
Yes.
Don't take the risk. I mean, it's
like Nipsey said, you want a slice, you got to roll the dice. And that's real. That's
take
real.
A gamble.
Take a gamble. Take a risk. Step out on faith. Yeah. A lot of people are trying to start businesses, but they don't want to walk through the doors. They don't want to do the work because it's work too. It's not just, like I said, they call it root work for a reason. And it is, it's work.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get into Conjure. I have to feel like if you know, right? You guys follow me from the Conjure. And it also may go over a lot of people's heads. So for the new people or for the people who are trying to learn, my recommendation would be to start with your ancestors, if that is something that you want to get into. Have them guide you. If it is for you, it will show up. If you are interested in hoodoo, start with the elemental energies first. The earth, the air, the fire, the water. You are already the energy, right? So start with the elements first. Learn your herbs. Learn what you can do with your herbs. I have a mojo bag that is amazing. That has all earth elements in it. And different forms of earth elements in it. And I love this mojo bag. And it has been protecting people all over the country. And so that is just earth element, so practice with your herbs, carry them around. Like if you want to do protection, if you want to do money work, do certain things like we said, to sacrifice, make certain sacrifices when it comes to that. We do a lot of rituals, right? That are for other people. And we use real money in those rituals, and we'll take that money and we'll give it away. Right, Eria? There's been times where we will leave it in the bathroom at Walmart.
Yeah, I've walked up to people and literally
and gave it away. It's I personally don't walk up to people because I don't want any glorification from it, because in my practice, I don't want any benefit from it, right? I feel like if there's any way that I'm going to benefit from this sacrificed money, I don't want to benefit from it. So I don't want anybody being like, thank you, because it's not even about that. It's about giving it away, letting it go, letting it flow. I know people are like, wait, you took money, you did money work, but you took money and then you took that money and you gave it away? Like, what kind of manifestation is y'all doing? I get it. But it is about sacrifice. Listen, I made almost $40 million. I really don't have to explain myself. But if you want to learn, I'm telling you, learn how to sacrifice first. Learn how to take that to grow it and give, because I feel like that is a very pure, one of the purest forms of energy is in sacrifice, is to give to someone. So I know that this all sounds weird and cliche-ish, and like all this is cliche. Is that a word?
Yeah, cliche.
I said cliche-ish.
Oh, I've never heard of that. But
I could make it work.
Yeah.
But it's true. So there's obviously other things that you can do to manifest. If some of you guys want to visit the Conjure Academy, I have classes on manifestation and success rituals. Even we were talking about sigils and seals. I have a class on the Conjure Academy also, how to create your own seals safely.
I also have a book called Household Hoodoo, where you can learn how to incorporate hoodoo into your home, how to spiritually protect your home and cleanse your home using just anything that you can find, any herbs or like literally salts or anything that you might already have within your home that you can use to spiritually cleanse and protect it. I also do have a special section in there about money bowls, since we were just talking about money. And I think that in regards to the whole abundance mindset too, I think that that is really important, and getting the money flowing within your home as well. So I think you guys should really check that out. That's probably going to be like a really big section, actually.
I love it. I love it. Kayla is also the co-author on my first book,
The Conjure Cookbook.
The Conjure Cookbook.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening this episode of the Conjure Confessions. I am Lala Inuti Ahari.
I am Eria Maria Ahari.
And I'm Chaela Ahari. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week on the Conjure Confessions podcast.
Next Sunday. See you soon.
Bye.
See ya.
Witches, they're vampires. It's all entertainment for the sake of entertainment.
When it comes to actually talking about our culture and our history, then you twist it.
Where are we going to see our superheroes?
You saw how mad they were just about a mermaid being black.
Baptism is a ritual. Like, oh my God, he's drinking blood. And I'm just thinking to myself, ain't that what y'all do every Sunday or every first Sunday? It is a form of spiritual oppression when they intentionally keep your spirituality from you. And then you go home, you cleanse your kid and you make sure he clean and everything. Do that energetically. Do that spiritually.
The attracting the money and attracting the love. Make sure that you're not going in it with the greedy perspective, or you just want money. You just want love too, because it's usually you just want that man.